Hour Nation. Michael Buckeye here with the Man Hour. You guys heard the manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. We've got the blog section as well. And guys, comment down below. This is a live interactive show. We see all the comments. We see all the interactions. I guess if you got a question, let us know. If you have your thoughts, let us know. I try to communicate with each and every comment down there in the comments down below. But guys, this is, like I said, live interactive show. Share with a couple of friends, but most importantly, guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button down below, or the thumbs down button, or whatever emotion you're feeling right now. Hit that emotion down there in the old description, bada bing, bada boom. And let's let us know how we are doing. Guys, we are 15 days away from the NFL draft. 15 days. And the Pittsburgh Steelers still do not have a quarterback. They're drafting 20th overall. Does Aaron Rodgers to the Pittsburgh Steelers make sense at this point? We got to talk about the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears. Yes, we got to talk about the Chicago Bears. And potentially Caleb Williams be the top 10 quarterback in the NFL. What? Slow it down, baby. We do. And no, we do have a new quarterback hell. We do have a new quarterback hell, and that's the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts, guys, are they the newest team to join quarterback hell? Meaning the Jets and the Browns, and now they got their third wheel. And then we got over, under, win-loss AFC East edition. We got the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, New York Jets, over or under their win total per bet.us. And then we got cold, hard facts. Got some cold, hard facts, and we're going to end the show then with a little bit of fact or crap. Before we get too carried away, we got to welcome some people in the chat. We got to welcome the pigskin pundit himself. Old Man River is in the chat. Where is he at?
Pigskin pundit. Get you some.
Old Man River is a pigskin pundit, and he is loving life. He says, what up, Buck? What up? And what's up, Old Man River? Hope you have a good old day, man. We got my man TB12 Fanatic is in the chat. Says, what up, Buck? Or sorry, Mr. Buckheister. Use the full proper term. What up, good night? What up, TB12? Fantastic. And by the way, TB12 does suck. We got my man Charlie is back in the chat today. Charlie was here yesterday, first timer. He is back for round two. Charlie, welcome, man. We are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time until the high school football season starts. And I am live Monday through Thursday. And then my man Hoffy, that's right, Mr. Hofstetter himself, will be live on Friday nights to fill up that void for you guys. So got a lot of NFL talk to get to, guys. Got a lot of NFL talk. And Charlie says, finally, we get a chance to the Eagles and Washington game. Will do better last year of their playoffs in the Washington, because I see Washington some good moves. Listen, dude. Commanders are coming. Eagles are still there, but watch out for the Commanders. TB Fanatic says, Tom Brady will be back in the silver and black, baby. Raiders are winning the Super Bowl. Whoa. Not so fast, my man. Not so fast. We got Man Hour Hoppy in the chat. He says, who cares about the Old Man Rivers? Man Hour Boggy is the GOAT. I think he meant Hoppy, but hey, if you want to call yourself Boggy, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. Kristen George is in the chat. What's up, Kristen George? What says hi? Hi, Christian. And Hoppy says, Commanders can suck my old nuts. It is what it is. Guys, this is, like I said, this is a live interactive show. We see all the comments down below, but let's get started on today's show. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the biggest elephant in all of NFL sports right now, because we are 15 days away from the NFL draft. Man, that is exactly nearly 2 weeks. By the time this podcast goes live, by the time this clip goes live, it'll be 2 weeks, 14 days until the NFL draft. And the Steelers have so many questions at the quarterback realm as of right now. Now, as Aaron Rodgers talks are starting to die down and NFL draft talks are starting to ramp up, we need to address the elephant in the room. And does the addition or non-addition of Aaron Rodgers affect what the Pittsburgh Steelers will do in this year's draft? That is a lot to dissect. That is a lot to understand. And quite frankly, guys, the Steelers need a quarterback. I don't know how else to put this for you Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but you guys need a quarterback. Mason Rudolph is not it. My man from the Kansas State University, Skylar Thompson, is not it. I hate to dog my man Skylar Thompson, but it is what it is. You have to call a spade at the end of the day. Those two guys are not your starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't care what Mike Tomlin says about Mason Rudolph. I don't care what the general manager had to say about Mason Rudolph. I don't care if what Art Rooney has to say about Mason Rudolph. I don't care what Cam Hayward or anybody else on the Pittsburgh Steelers have to say about Mason Rudolph. The point of the matter is they don't want Mason Rudolph. He is a great backup. He's a great third-string quarterback. If you are predicting him to lead you to a Super Bowl as an NFL starter, you got another thing coming, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Slow it down, baby. But let's just be honest. Mason Rudolph is not starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025. He is not going to be the starter. He might be the backup. He might be the third string, depending on how great Skylar Thompson plays, but he will not be the starter in 2025. The reason being is because the Pittsburgh Steelers do hold the 21st overall pick in this year's 2025 NFL draft. They no longer have a second-round pick because of the trade of the DK Metcalf, but they do hold that late first-round draft pick of the 21st overall pick. Now, when you look at Aaron Rodgers, he is a Band-Aid fix for the season at best, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers have a cut and they need stitches. Aaron Rodgers is just putting that Band-Aid over the fix until you can get to the hospital, aka next year's draft, to get your guy. That's all Aaron Rodgers is. He is nothing beyond 1 year. He is nothing beyond 2 years. Hell, if somebody says he has 3 years left in him, stop it. We saw what Aaron Rodgers did last season. Stop it, stop it, stop it. And look, at this point, either Aaron Rodgers is coming or he's not coming. We are 15 days away from the NFL draft, and this should not affect what the Pittsburgh Steelers do in the first round pick. At pick number 21, having Aaron Rodgers there or not should not affect what they do. When I look at the draft, I see that they need a quarterback. It's simple as that. They need a quarterback. They're not getting Shedeur Sanders. He's going top 10. We're not getting Cam Ward. He's going top 10. The next valuable quarterback off of the board seems to be Jackson Dart, and he seems to be the best fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I understand at 21st, that seems kind of a little bit of a reach, right? It seems like a little bit of reach to draft for a second round quarterback in the first round. But listen, if you draft a quarterback in the first round or draft any player in the first round, you get them for 4 years plus that 1 year. So you basically get them 5 years. So you could get Jackson Dart in the third round. You could get Will Howard in the third round. Yes, you could. But if you want to make a reach for that 5th year option, go out there and get Jackson Dart. Go out there and get Jackson Dart, and he would be the best fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward. And then if you have a Aaron Rodgers on the roster, he can legitimately sit back and learn from Aaron Rodgers, the GOAT of all time. Let's just be honest. The true GOAT is Aaron Rodgers. Let him learn from Aaron Rodgers, pick his brain, smoke that marijuana, and bada bing, bada boom, you might have a Hall of Fame quarterback in the making. And if you don't like Jackson Dart, Jalen Milore, he has been invited to the NFL draft. So people are saying that, hey, he might be a first-round pick. You can reach for him as well. So, guys, Aaron Rodgers or not, either or, does Aaron Rodgers affect what the Pittsburgh Steelers do in this year's draft? In the first overall pick, 15 days away, does that affect their draft pick? Let's talk about it. TB12 says the elephant in the room is John Peebles. You mean not wrong. Not wrong. But TB12 says Aaron Rodgers going to the Vikings. TB12 says let's just be honest. Let's think about this logically. The reason why the Vikings have not named J.J. McCarthy their starter yet, the reason why the Vikings have not gotten a backup quarterback yet, the reason why the Vikings are still talking about trading J.J. is because Aaron Rodgers is coming to town, baby. Let's not get it twisted. You might be right. Hoffy says, I agree with TB12 fanatics. Vikings need a quarterback. J.J. McCarthy is trash. Whew. To be announced, right? I had to sit and ponder that thought because I'm not saying J.J. McCarthy is trash. I am saying, though, with Sam Darnold with the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy would have been more valuable to the Vikings trading him to a different team, a.k.a. a first-round pick and a second-round pick or two first-round picks. You could have turned over J.J. McCarthy Still had Sam Darnold for 2-3 years down the road, and then they went and get out there and got a quarterback like potentially Arch Manning down the road. We'll see. Charlie says, let's see if the starters can make it into the playoffs. They haven't made a playoffs for a few years now. They call the best team. Charlie, this is where you're wrong. The Pittsburgh Steelers just made the playoffs last season. The Pittsburgh Steelers repeatedly make the playoffs year after year after year. They don't lose games. They are always a 9-10 win team. They're always a winning team. Underneath Mike Tomlin, they've never had a losing season. Now, getting past the wild card game, that is a different story. Winning a playoff game, that is a different story. They get there, they're satisfied getting there, and then they dribble down their legs and they forget that they have a football game in the wild card game. That's what it comes down to. That is what it comes down to. Hoffy says, Mason Rudolph still recovering from the Garrett head bashing with his own helmet. Not wrong. Not wrong on that. TB12 says, tank for Arch Manning. So, we have talked about this several times here on the show, right? We have talked about this, like about the Cowboys potentially tanking for Arch Manning, the Colts tanking for Arch Manning, the Raiders tanking for Arch Manning. But the truth of the matter is, guys, Arch Manning is only going to be a junior. The truth of the matter is that Arch Manning holds all of the cards. If a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers is the number 1 overall pick and he doesn't want to go, they're like, I'm going to go back to college. If a team like the Cleveland Browns is the number 1 overall pick, it's like, I'm going to go back to college. Arch Manning holds all the cards, especially with NIL deal money now. He's probably he was making more money in high school than he was in a lot of the rookie quarterbacks were last season. Wrap your head around that. A 16, 17-year-old kid is making more than an NFL professional quarterback in his second year. What? But Arch Manning holds all the cards, so tanking for Arch is not really an option. Arch Manning holds all the cards, much like John Owen did back in the day. Charlie says, Steelers, do you need a quarterback? Charlie, have you heard the song? Have you heard Frozen before? You know, Elsa, that beautiful blonde-headed chick. Do you want to build a snowman? The Steelers are like saying, we need a quarterback. We don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers. We don't care if it's Jalen Milore. We don't care if it's Kenny Pickett. We need a quarterback. That is what the Pittsburgh Steelers are saying right now. We need a quarterback. It is what it is. It is what it is. But TB12 says Jackson Dart is Kenny Pickett 2.0. Kenny Pickett 2.0. Listen, dog. First things first. Kenny Pickett is the only Super Bowl winning quarterback in the AFC North as of right now. When you look at the NFC North, you got Joe Burrow, right? You got Lamar Jackson. You got Mason Rudolph. You got Kenny Pickett. Out of those 4 names, Kenny Pickett is the only one that has a Super Bowl ring. Kenny Pickett's got that hardware on his hands. So if Jackson Dart is Kenny Pickett 2.0, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, baby, give it to me, baby. And Old Man River said they need to draft Jalen Milore. Jalen Milore needs to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Old Man River, we all know that you're biased. We all know that you think that Alabama is the greatest college since sliced bread. You know that that you think every college quarterback coming out of the University of Alabama Crimson Tide, when their mascot is an elephant and they're called the Tide and they don't even live close to the ocean or the Gulf, but hey, whatever, right? You think every quarterback from Alabama is great. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Jeez. And TB12 says, we all know who the real GOAT is. You're right. You guys can't see that, but that is Peyton Manning. That is a autographed Peyton Manning poster, Hall of Fame 2021. And then it's Patrick Mahomes, which is right there. And then it's TB12. Come on, dog. Come on. Buck for American Idol. Hey, man. Joke's on you, Hoffy. I don't have a day job. Joke is on you. I don't have a day job. But Charlie says he meant a Super Bowl. So he's saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers need a quarterback to make it to the Super Bowl. And Charlie, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. Back on this show, I sat here with Hoffy, I think. Hoffy, correct me if I'm wrong. But it was like a Wednesday or like a Thursday, middle of July, 2:00 in the afternoon. We're just shooting the shit. And I said, listen, Hoffy, the Pittsburgh Steelers are above average quarterback way of being a Super Bowl team. Hoffy thought I was crazy. Old Man River thought I was crazy. Jim, Laura, John, the rest of the people thought I was crazy. What? You're stupid, Buck. You're stupid. I said, no. Hear me out. They get above quarterback play. They are a Super Bowl caliber team. They have a defense. They have a receiver core that's somewhat good at the time, right? This was before they traded, what's his face, to the Carolina Panthers. Forgot his name now. But they traded him to Carolina Panthers. Like before that, they still had Najee. They had Warren, which I thought was going to be a dog. And Russell Wilson was presumably going to be 100% healthy come week 1. But long story short, they did not get above quarterback play for that team that particular season. It is what it is. But guys, do the Pittsburgh Steelers need to alter their draft plans if Aaron Rodgers does eventually sign? I am saying no. But the real question is, guys, do you think that Aaron Rodgers is coming to Pittsburgh? At this point, we are 15 days away from the draft. 14 days by the time the show is over here. We haven't heard any words from Aaron Rodgers' camp. No word on ESPN, Fox, CBS, CNN, that fake news. We haven't heard anything from him since the throwing session with DK Metcalf. Was it prior to April 1st? So into March, maybe? It's been 2 whole weeks. We haven't heard anything from Aaron Rodgers news. No camp, no insider information, no leaking of the sources, no people close to Aaron Rodgers. Nothing? We haven't heard nothing? Well, what we do know is the Pat McAfee show is airing there in Pittsburgh on Tuesday next week, April 15th, tax day. Get you guys' taxes done. Get your taxes done, get your taxes done, get your taxes done. Is it a ploy to get more eyes on the Pat McAfee show? Aaron Rodgers could be a guest on his weekly Tuesday shows. Could do a little bit of this, could do a little bit of that. Could be a big release party. It could be when LeBron James went from the Cavaliers down to the Heat. Think about towns at South Beach. I could see Aaron Rodgers in his nice, beautiful LA mansion, looking over the sunset and like into the sea. I'm gonna take my towns to the rainiest, dungiest city in the world, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here we come, baby. I'm taking my towns to the steel town. Guys, do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to Pittsburgh? That's the question. That is the question. Old Man River says nope. And he's 13 days from his Aaron Rodgers retirement release party. It's an ayahuasca party. I think Aaron Rodgers will never really ever officially retire from the NFL, right? Like we heard Julio Jones officially retired earlier this week or late last week, right? Did he play on a team last year? He did not. So like I think Aaron Rodgers is going to kind of be like that type of guy, right? If he doesn't play this season, get picked up by the Pittsburgh Steelers, or decide not to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe some other team, barring some crazy injury happens, he gets on the 49ers or the Cowboys, or he joins a team that is a quarterback needy team, plays for 3 or 4 games and doesn't play at all like the following season, and then like 2030 is like, I officially retire from the NFL. It's like, bro, you haven't played in like 3 years. Like, what are you talking about? We thought you were done. You're freaking 50, man. But hey, it could happen. It could happen, right? But let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and move on and talk about the Chicago Bears. Let's talk about this Chicago Bears, about how they are. The hype is real in Chicago, guys. The hype is real in Chicago. And I know I've said it several times, and I keep having to say it to remind myself. I'm not buying into the Bears hype in March. I'm not buying the Bears hype in April, May, June, July, August, or September, or October, or hell, not even November. Maybe I might start to buy in December when they finally get over that 9, 10 win hump. But the more I watch, the more I look, the more I read about the Chicago Bears, I cannot help myself to get excited. I cannot help but get giddy. I cannot help but text my man BC Combs and like and be like, hey dog, your team might be good. Your team might be knocking on that doorstep of the NFC North Championship. Your team might be going to the playoffs. And I need to remind myself to slow it down, but slow it down, baby. But the Chicago Bears guys did open up voluntary camp today, right, with their new head coach, Ben Johnson. They also got Ranton NOL as a receiver coach. They got Eric Bieniemy as a running back coach. They got Al Harrison or Hal Harris from the Dallas Cowboys to bring him up as a safeties coach. Like they got a nice little star-studded staff up there in Chicago. But Caleb Williams said today after practice, he says they are pushing us and challenging us to be better. And I love it. So guys, when we look at Caleb Williams' rookie season, look at his projection to this season, new head coach, a lot of pieces added. Guys, will Caleb Williams be a top 10 quarterback in 2025? And the NFL season of 2025, will Caleb Williams be a top 10 quarterback? Before we project to the future, let's back to the past. Let's go back to his rookie season. Caleb Williams did not do half bad his rookie season, despite all the ups and downs and turmoils that was happening in Chicago. He threw for over 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions in 2024. He had a QBR of 87.8, and he had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. They were ranked 29th overall per PFF. And all that, he still got all the hate and all this. People were dragging Caleb Williams through the mud. And besides the worst offensive line, they had one of the worst head coaches in the NFL, Matt Eberflus. I'm not saying he's a bad person. He's a terrible coach. I would like to go have a beer with the man. I would like to sit him on the front porch, around the fire and shoot the shit. But he's a terrible coach. They had one of the worst offensive coordinators in the NFL. They could never get the rhythm of the game happening. Caleb Williams went through three offensive coordinators his first season, 2 head coaches. Now he has a new head coach, new OC, new passing game coordinator. Everything's new. And also this offseason, the Chicago Bears added all of the right pieces. They added offensive line, traded for what's his face from the Kansas City Chiefs. Can't think of his name right now. He's drawing a blank. They picked up Jonah Jackson, previously from the Detroit Lions, and then went to the Rams on a deal. Couldn't quite get healthy. Now he's injured, whatever. Now he's with the Chicago Bears. They signed a linebacker, a defense of tackle, and a defensive end. They nailed their want list and need list head on. Guys, Caleb Williams could be the Chicago Bears' first ever 4,000 yards passer in the NFL. Sorry, for the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears have never had a 4,000 yard passer. Caleb Williams could be it. Guys, I predict that Caleb Williams will be a top 10 quarterback in this year in the NFL. I predict that Caleb Williams is going to blow people out of the water. Caleb Williams has the work ethic. He has the it factor, and he has a real high football IQ. Now with pieces around him, with competent coaching, with the competent players, a nice little receiver core, they have a really good opportunity to not only being successful, making the playoffs, battling for the NFC North, but Caleb Williams has a chance to be a great quarterback in the NFL. I'm not going to call him elite, a generational talent. Don't put those words in my mouth. I know once the Chicago Bears fans hear 4,000 yards and great, they will be saying, Super Bowl, he's elite, he's great. And no. He could be top 10. He could be pretty damn good, if not great, 4,000 yards. But listen, at the end of the day, he's still the Chicago Bears, so we need to slow it down. But guys, what do you think? Will Caleb Williams be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL in 2025? 2025. Old Man River says the hype is consistent in Chicago since 1986. Old Man River, let me put some perspective on that date. 1986. My birthday and the Man Hour birthday is April 11th. I was born in 87. Man Hour will be 3 years old on Friday. I have kids on my high school team that was born in 2011. Wrap your head around that. My freshman class on my high school was born in 2012. So I have kids that I am relying on to be great to win me football games that was being born after I was out of college. Like, wrap your head around that. Let me tell you this, Old Man River, put that date into some more perspective. This freshman class, going to be freshman class, 8th graders as of right now, they referred to 2011 and 2012 to the teens. To the teens. 2013, 2014, 2015. Refer to those as like the teens. I'm like, and I heard them saying like the 14 and 15 and 13. And I was like, why are you guys talking about the 1900s? They're like, 1900s? What are you, like 137 years old? That's a long-ass time. That is what I'm saying, Old Man River. That is a long-ass time. Real McCoy's in the chat. What's up, Real McCoy? He says, Big Ben don't have good things to say about Aaron Rodgers. Who doesn't have good things to say about Aaron Rodgers? Let's just be honest. Osman, what's up, man? He says, should the Pittsburgh Steelers draft Jalen Milore? We can talk about that again here in a second. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Real McCoy says, Caleb Williams, who? No chance. There is no chance unless it's flag football. Speaking of flag football, did you guys know that the NFL is trying to block NFL players from playing in the Olympics in 2028? I just read that and thought it was kind of crazy. TV12 says, no way he's top 10 this year. Maybe next year. Sorry, Lions fans. Too soon. Too soon. Is TB12 predicting the downfall of the Detroit Lions? Is TB12 predicting that the Detroit Lions will not be very, very good in 2026? Could I say I'm with you, dog? Can I say that I'm with you? But Old Man River says he'll be number 5 behind Geno Smith. So Old Man River says not only is Caleb Williams going to be a top 10 quarterback, he'll be a top 5 quarterback, and Geno Smith will be a top 5 quarterback. Ooh, slow it down. That is tough. That is tough. That is tough. Hoffy says Allen and Williams will scratch top 10. Too early, but he is third best from his draft class. When you look at the draft class from last season, right, you have Jaden Daniels, clearly right now the clear front runner, best quarterback in that class. Then you have Caleb Williams, you have Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., and then Bo Nix. And who was the other one? Wasn't JJ? Well, yeah, JJ McCarthy, right? Those 6 guys were drafted in the top 12 of the NFL draft last season, 2024 NFL draft. So you're saying he's third in his class. Who is above him, Hoffy? I mean, I will give you Jaden Daniels. He had a great season. I will not give you Bo Nix, although he did have a great season. I do predict he'll have the worst out of the class in 2025. Like, who are you putting at number 2? Is it Drake May? You freaking homer? I don't know. Old Man River says, but in 1985, the Bears arguably had the best team in NFL history. That is what the Bears live off of, is the 1980-85 Bears, just like how the Las Vegas Raiders live off of Christmas Day 2023, right? It's just, you cannot bank your history off of one day, 1 year. Just like you got to have a little bit of more oomph in your life, right? A little bit of oomph. Speaking of oomph, the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts are a team that I am just so freaking confused about. Today, they invited Cam Ewers, Texas Longhorns quarterback, into a visit for his pre-draft visit process. Guys, Cam Ewers is a quarterback. Cam Ewers is projected to go in the 3rd, potentially 4th round, if not later. But he's visiting the Indianapolis Colts. Currently, the Indianapolis Colts have Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones on the roster battling for the QB1 spot. They also have a third string guy, but I do not remember his name off the top of my head. When we look at the Indianapolis Colts, guys, and their current quarterback situation, are the Indianapolis Colts the newest team to join, quote, quarterback hell, where if you get drafted there, if you play there, you'll never have a career again? The 2 teams that are right now on the quarterback hell list are the New York Football Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Those 2 teams is where quarterbacks go to die. And I was hesitant to put the Indianapolis Colts on this list. But look at their history. Since Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck left, right? Peyton Manning, they cut him. He went to the Denver Broncos, won 2 Super Bowls. Andrew Luck came in to replace him. He was there for 5 or 6 years, right? Then he abruptly retired because of he was getting injured all the time. But since Andrew Luck left, they had Josh Freeman as a quarterback, Matt Hasselbeck, Jacoby Brissett, Scott Tonsilin, don't know who that is, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Sam Ehlinger, Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew, Anthony Richardson, Joe Flacco. They also drafted Anthony Richardson, Sam Ehlinger, Jacob Easton, Chandler Harnish since Andrew Luck in 2025. So not only have they had 12 quarterbacks since 2012, they've drafted 5 quarterbacks since 2012. And since 2019, they've only had 1 quarterback break 4,000 yards passing, and that is Phillip Rivers. Guys, the Indianapolis Colts is the newest team to be added to quarterback hell. If you are a quarterback in the NFL or in the draft or a free agent or whatever, you do not want to go to the Indianapolis Colts. They will draft you. They won't develop you. Then they'll throw you under the bus and then they'll ship you off to LA. That is what they did to Jacob Easton and Ethan Stick, right? Like they just do this time and time again. And to bring in Daniel Jones to battle for the number 1 spot for Anthony Richardson just shows you that they have no competence of what they're doing. And hell, even last year, everybody and their dogs said that Anthony Richardson did not fit the Shane Steichen system in Indianapolis. What they do? They draft him anyways. Guys, the point of the matter is the Indianapolis Colts are lost. Quinn Ewers, if you have an opportunity to go back to college and you're gonna get drafted by the Colts, man, go back to college. I don't care if you are a backup to old Arch Manning. Get in that transfer portal. Come to Kansas State. They will make you a professional quarterback. Look at Will Howard. Look at Skylar Thompson. They will get you to the NFL, and then you can go to a different quarterback hell team like the New York Football Jets. But guys, are the Indianapolis Colts the newest team to join quarterback hell? I have to say yes. Yes. Real McCoy says the Colts are just confused as you are, Buck, about themselves. And it all starts with the general manager. Chris Ballard is the issue up there in Indianapolis. As simple, plain point as that. Guys, I live roughly an hour away from Indianapolis. This season, I wanted season tickets. So I live right in the middle of Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Nashville, right? I was calling around and say, I'm not a fan of the Colts. I'm not a fan of the Bengals. I'm not a fan of the Titans, but I like to go to NFL games and see other teams play in stadiums, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, we ultimately decided to go to the Colts because it's dome. You don't have to worry about the cold and wind and parking and all that stuff. Me, the wife, and the boys can go and enjoy ourselves in a nice warm atmosphere and have a grand old time. We called them back in January. They only had seats up in the top bowl for sale. It was about $3,500 for the 4 of them, right? Not too bad, but we're not buying season tickets up on the top bowl when we can selectively pick games to get down into the bottom bowl. Earlier last week, April 2nd, I believe it was, April 3rd, the Indianapolis Colts sales department called me and said, hey, Buck, we got some tickets open. Do you want them? I'm like, sure. Where are they at? They're like 200 level, third row, seats 1, 2, 3, 4. Corner of the end zone, Colts sideline, right where they run out of the tunnel. Great experience for the kids, great seats. You can see everything, right? Guess how much they were selling those bad boys for? $1,000. Not for a seat, not for 2 seats, for 4 seats, for 10 games, $1,000. I was like, what? Like, what? Like, it just shows you how not confident that fans are in the Indianapolis Colts. It shows you how non-confident that the general public is about the Indianapolis Colts, that nobody wants those tickets. They were selling 4 tickets for 10 games. They sell them for 10 game packages and they give you 10% off. It was, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but basically I would end up paying $900 for 4 seats in the 200 bowl on a dome field. Like, yes, I want those tickets. Like, why wouldn't I? I don't care how bad they are. I'm there to watch football. I'm there to enjoy, right? I am there to see players that I've coached at some point. Like, you know, I was just like, good Lord. But yeah, they are terrible. They are confused. How good do you think Luck was? Listen, I think Andrew Luck had the highest ceiling that every quarterback out there. Higher than Patrick Mahomes, higher than Peyton Manning, higher than John Elway. Andrew Luck was smart. He had talent. He had size. He was Josh Allen before Josh Allen was Josh Allen, right? He had the big size start. He was sneakily kind of fast. He was smart because obviously he was a Stanford grad, but they just did not build around him, right? It sucks that the injuries took over him. It's like it sucked that he, like, I guess kind of found his way out the door because he was honestly just tired of like getting hurt and pissed off at the organization. And old member says, how many different coordinators have they had? I don't know. I didn't look that up, but what does that matter? Right? They still had the same general manager. How long did they hang on to Frank Wright? Way too long, right? It's just like the point is they've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 quarterbacks since 2012. All those 14 quarterbacks started since 2012. Since Andrew Luck left in 2012, 14 different starters. And they drafted 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks since Andrew Luck. They're not doing something right. It is what it is. They're just not doing something right. All right, guys, it's time for a little bit of over and under. Guys, get that. Over and under, guys, is very, very simple. We go to bet.us. We use promo code MANHOUR. We matched ourselves $100 bet, y'all. And we determine whether the AFC East teams are going to be over or under their win totals for the 2025 NFL season. So let's go ahead and start off with at the top. The Buffalo Bills in alphabetical order, right? We're starting at alphabetical order, but the Buffalo Bills. Last year, they finished 13-4. They were first in the AFC East. They lost in the AFC championship game to the Kansas City Chiefs. They did not lose a lot of players this offseason. They did not bring in a lot of players either, right? They have a lot of contracts locked up. They didn't have too many holes to fill, so they didn't make too many moves. But guys, as of right now, the Buffalo Bills are set to win 11.5. The betting line for the Buffalo Bills in 2025 is 11.5 wins in 2025. So guys, over under 11.5 wins for the Buffalo Bills in 2025. When you look at their schedule, right, obviously they will play the Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, and the New York Jets twice, right? But when we look at their home opponents, they play the Baltimore Ravens, the Bengals, the Saints, the Buccaneers, Chiefs, and the Eagles. That is tough. At least they're at home, but that is tough. But then on the road, they play the Steelers, Falcons, Panthers, Browns, and Texans. Guys, can the Buffalo Bills get any more of a favorable schedule? Let's just be flat out honest. All of their big games, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Buccaneers, and the Ravens, they're all home games. The hardest road game that they potentially have outside of the division is the Houston Texans. And yes, the Houston Texans did wax that ass last season, but the Buffalo Bills are probably going to come back for revenge. I think they sweep the Jets. I think they sweep the Patriots. I think they split with the Miami Dolphins. Right there off the top, that is 5 wins. So we're looking at about 5 more wins to get the over of 11.5 wins. Do they beat the Baltimore Ravens at home? That is a yes. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills own Lamar Jackson. Yes, I understand Lamar Jackson is a great regular season quarterback, but give me the Buffalo Bills. The Bengals, a true wild card, right? Their defense is going to be terrible. It's going to probably be an offensive shootout, and I think the Bengals have a little bit more offensive firepower. I think they lose that game. I think they beat the Saints. I think they lose to the Buccaneers. They beat the Chiefs, and they beat the Eagles. Right there, we're sitting at 11 wins. 11 wins, right? And then we got an easy-ass road schedule. Falcons, that is a win. Panthers, that is a win. Browns, that is a win. Steelers, that is a win. Texans, that is a win. Guys, it would not shock me one bit if the Buffalo Bills are 15-2 this season. It would not shock me one bit if they're a 14-15, hell, maybe even a 16-wins team in 2025. I am 100% picking the over on the Buffalo Bills, 11.5 wins. Now, obviously, it's going to change once the schedule comes out, right? They are going to have that Thursday night trap game. It could be on the road. They're playing potentially the Atlanta Falcons or the Browns or the Panthers on that Thursday night game on the road. Could be that trap game. But listen, 13 wins is not a reach. 14 wins is not a reach. Hell, 15 wins is not a reach. If you are not picking the over on the Buffalo Bills, you are a betting fuel, right? But what do you guys think? Over under 11.5 wins for the Buffalo Bills in 2025. TB Fanatic says under 11.5 wins. TB Fanatic thinks that the probably going to get swept by the Patriots, get swept by the Jets, and swept by the Giants. That would be tough, baby. That would be tough, right? Old Man River says the Bills will be over 11.55 wins. Old Man River, I think we're on something here, baby. I think we are on something. Hoffy says the Bills under 12. So that Hoffy, if you think they're getting 12 wins, that would be over because 11.5 is the betting line, right? So if you get 12, you are over. If you get 11, you are under. So clarify that, Hoffy. Where are you going? Old Man River says the big ticket games are at home. Yeah, and I wish Alpha Rob was here because he's the biggest Buffalo Bills fan that I know. But guys, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the last season of Orchard Park, right? Because I saw that the final steel beam went into the new stadium last week, but that stadium shouldn't be ready to be played this season, right? So correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's the last year of Orchard Park, right, and you got the Ravens, Bengals, Chiefs, Eagles, Saints, and Buccaneers all in that game, it would not shock me one bit if they tried to make that Kansas City Chiefs game and Buffalo Bills game like a nice Sunday night, Monday night, last game of the season. Granted, we know we played divisional games the last game, but let's say week 16, go out, put Orchard Park on top, make that place loud. Chiefs, Bills. That would be nice. Real McCoy says the Bills are a tough team. 12 wins at least. Listen, the only question mark about the Buffalo Bills is their bend, don't break defense, right? The only question is, was it going to be Von Miller? Von Miller's gone, right? Are they going to be able to, compete with teams like the Ravens and the Bengals and the Buccaneers and the Chiefs? We showed that last year with that bend, don't break defense, right? They play the 4-2-5 instead of the 4-3. They will be just fine. And I am great. Charlie says, I just got back. I'm eating and doing laundry. Look at my man being all adult-like. Eating and doing laundry, multitasking. My man. Hoffy says, I meant under. Last year's total was 13. So Hoffy's saying they're going to be under 11.5 wins. Damn, Hoffy. Old Member says, imagine what those ticket prices will be for those games. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Especially if it's the last game at Orchard Park, which I'm not 100% sure, but I want to feel like this is the last year there, right? Because they are building the new stadium. They put in the last piece of steel. My gut tells me it won't be ready by August, but you never know. But either way, whether it's closing of the old stadium or opening of the new stadium, Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles games, $1,000 easy. $1,500 easy. Easy. Charlie says the Chiefs cheat on every Super Bowl. They have never once deflated balls, spied on cameras, or doing anything, Charlie. So, yeah, talking out your butt. Moving on. The Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. They did finish 8-9 last season, second in the AFC East after a crazy season, right? Tua being right, and then just them falling apart and then coming back together. But toward the end of the season, they still had a shot at the playoffs, winning 6 of their final 9 games. They ultimately did get knocked out of the playoffs because the Bengals decided to win a little bit more, and the Chargers decided and Broncos decided to lock their spots, kicking the Miami Dolphins up. But they still had a shot. But as of right now, the Miami Dolphins are sitting at 8.5 wins for the 2025 NFL season. That is tough. 8.5. Because 8.5 is a technically a losing record. 8 wins is technically a losing record, but 9 wins is potentially a playoff team. 10 wins is potentially a playoff team. So 8.5 is a tough betting margin here. So obviously they play the Patriots twice, the Jets twice, and the Buffalo Bills twice. I do have them losing to the Buffalo Bills once, have them beating the Buffalo Bills once. So there is one win. Have them splitting with the Patriots and then sweeping the New York Jets. So we're sitting at 4 wins as of right now going into their home games. Their home games include the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, LA Chargers, the Saints, the Buccaneers, and the Commanders. Tough little schedule that they got there. And then their away games, they have the Browns, the Steelers, the Colts, Falcons, and the Panthers. Ooh, that is tough. Let's start at home. They are not beating the Baltimore Ravens. I don't care if it's in snow, hot weather in London and Mexico and Argentina or Brazil. The Ravens are going to come out there and they're going to wreck the Miami Dolphins. It is what it is. The Bengals are going to beat the Miami Dolphins as well. The Chargers at home. This is an interesting game. Toss-up game. Let's give them the toss-up game. There's 5 wins. I think they'll beat the Saints. They're not beating the Buccaneers, and they're not beating the Commanders. So we're sitting at 6 wins as of right now going into the away schedule. Browns, Steelers, Colts, Falcons, and Panthers. This is tough because depending on when they play Cleveland, is it early in the season or is it late in the season is ultimately when if the Miami Dolphins win this game or not. If this game is held in September or October, the Miami Dolphins will win. If it's November or December, the Cleveland Browns will win. So I'm going to give the Browns this win. I think they lose to the Steelers. I think they lose to the Colts. I think they lose to the Falcons, but I do think they beat the Carolina Panthers, which gives them 7 wins on the season. So if you are a betting man with 8.5 wins over under, I am going to have to go under. 7 wins is just not going to cut it. And if memory serves me right, when Tyreek Hill loses, when the Miami Dolphins do bad, when the Miami Dolphins don't make it into the playoffs, Tyreek Hill throws a tantrum, gives a peace sign on like X, says he wants out, says he wants this, and this. And I think this is a year that the straw finally breaks in the camel's back, or whatever it says, right? This will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. That is what I'm trying to like say. This is the year that Tyreek Hill gets kicked off the team, traded, cut, whatever. This is the year that Mike McDaniels finally gets exposed and fired. The offensive guru, the big man himself, right? The man has one win versus a winning team in his career in Miami. Miami is just not very good. Plus, they lost their probably potentially Hall of Famer offensive lineman to retirement. They're losing their front seven. It just they're good, but they're just not that good. And Mike McDaniels gets outcoached. 7 wins for the Miami Dolphins this season, so I'm going under. Charlie says Miami kind of has a good defense, but it's still not better than the Eagles. Eagles had the best defense in the NFL. Miami Dolphins did not. They had about the 20th or 22nd ranked defense in the NFL last season. I'll put that out there. Old Man River says, Old Man River, 7 wins. I said 7 wins, and you said 7 wins. Get out of my mind, Old Man River. But 7 wins to the both of us. Not too bad. Not too bad. Moving on to the New England Patriots. The Patriots kind of had a turmoil season. They went 4-13 last season. They finished 4th in the AFC East. They started off the season with a huge win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Everybody's like, okay, we see you, New England Patriots. We see you, Jacoby Brissett. We see you. Turns out the Cincinnati Bengals sucked, and then they lost 6 games in a row. They won 2 out of 3, and then they lost another 6 games in a row before getting a huge win Week 18 over the Buffalo Bills, blowing their first overall pick. That's why what's his face, Joe Milton III ultimately got traded. But as of right now, the New England Patriots are sitting at 7.5 wins over under. So guys, over or under with the New England Patriots get 7.5 wins in 2025. This one is tough. They play the Jets twice. I think they split with the Jets. They split with the Miami Dolphins, and then they get swept by the Buffalo Bills. So there is 2 wins right off the bat for them in 2025. Then we look at their home schedule. They play the Falcons, Giants, Panthers, Steelers, and Raiders. All very, very winnable games. Then you look at their away games. They play the Bengals, the Buccaneers, the Saints, Ravens, and Titans. All very, very winnable games. Starting at home, I do think they beat the Atlanta Falcons. Give me that dub. The Giants are a sneakily good team. I don't see them beating the Giants. I see them beating the Panthers. I see them upsetting the Steelers at home. I do not think that they're going to beat the Raiders, right? I think Josh McDaniels is going to try to outcoach himself versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Get back at his old team, and I think kind of just things just fall apart for the Patriots in that particular game. Now the away games: the Bengals, Buccaneers, Saints, Ravens, and Titans. The Bengals are going to be ready this season for them. Patriots are not beating the Bengals on the road 2 times in a row. They're not beating the Buccaneers. They're not beating the Saints, not beating the Ravens, but they might beat the Titans. That gives me 6 wins. That gives me 6 wins for the Patriots in 2025. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion that they'll probably be a little bit better. I have a sneaking suspicion that they might split the division, make them 3-3, get a mop-up win over the Buffalo Bills in Week 18 yet again, right? But as of right now, if I'm a betting man, 7.5 wins, I am going to bet the under. So what do you guys think? Over, under for the New England Patriots in 2025. Old Man River says 6 wins for the Patriots in 2025, so that's going to go under. Under. And TB12 says you're underestimating the Pats and Mike Vrabel. TB12, there is a reason why Mike Vrabel was not a head coach or assistant coach last season. There is a reason why he had to pull the old Rooney card to get into New England. There's a reason why he had to take, Robert Kraft down to Miami to get massages to get this job. Mike Vrabel is a very abrasive coach. I don't think he is that player's coach. I don't think he has that warm, open feeling. I don't think he is a kind-hearted soul to really bring you in and nurture you. And I think that's what Drake May needs. I think that's what Stephon Diggs wants, and I think that's the rest of that team is kind of what it's used to. So there's going to be some growing pains. Now, I'm not saying Mike Vrabel's a bad hire. I do like the hire, the culture, the history, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But let's not think he's going to come in there and instantly fix them in 2025. Maybe 2027. 2027, we can realistically start to think, okay, maybe they can legit win the East, like Coffee just said. Maybe we can legitimately think about, hey, they might win the East then. But as of right now, slow it down, baby. Next up, the New York Football Jets. They were 5-12 last season, third in the AFC East. They just never really looked good all season long. They never really had the momentum, right? Yes, Aaron Rodgers had top 10 stats in 2025 or 2024. Yes, they brought in Devontae Adams and they won a couple games. But let's just be honest, they had a 5-game losing streak. They won a game, and then they had another 4-game losing streak. They just did not look good. But the over-under win total for the New York Jets in 2025 is 5.5. Now, obviously, they play the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Bills twice. And then, at home, they play the Steelers, Browns, Broncos, Cowboys, Falcons, and Panthers. And then on the road, they play the Ravens, Bengals, Jaguars, Buccaneers, and Saints. They do not have a very favorable schedule. Now, it's very weird to me that they are playing the Broncos yet again at home. And then, of course, the Patriots are playing the Bengals again on the road. That just seems kind of weird. But at home, I do not see them beating the Steelers. I don't care if the Steelers have Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, or my man Tristan Polk from Marion University down here in Indiana. The Steelers are just better than the New York Jets. They're not winning that game. I don't think they're beating the Browns either. I like Justin Fields. I like the culture that Aaron Glenn is trying to build there. But Aaron Glenn said it himself best when practice started Monday, right? He said right now we are not worried about playoffs. We're not worried about winning the division. We're not worried about wins right now. We're worried about building a culture, and I think that's going to affect them early part of the season. So they're losing to the Steelers, losing to the Browns, losing to the Broncos, losing to the Cowboys. They might beat the Falcons. They might beat the Panthers. They're both at home games. There is 2. And then on the road, they play the Ravens, Bengals, Jaguars, Buccaneers, Saints. I think they beat the Jaguars, and I think they beat the Saints. That right there is 4 wins. And I think I had them winning a division game as 2 over the New England or over the Miami Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. So we're sitting about 5 wins. Now, if the Jets can get hot, and start to click mid-season, and they play games in a row versus the Browns, the Panthers, and then you throw in the Saints and the Jaguars, and then all of a sudden they win 4 games in a row, they could definitely get over the 5.5 wins. Now, off of the top of my head, just strictly going by wins, losses, don't know the schedule or anything else, I have them at 5 wins. But if I'm a betting man, if you go to bet.us, use promo code MANHOUR, they'll match you up to $100 on your first deposit. I am picking the over of 5.5 wins. I think the New York Jets are going to shock a lot of people. I think Justin Fields is going to be the man, the myth, the legend. I think Garrett Wilson is going to go off this season. And I'm picking the over of 5.5. And think about 6 or 7 wins is right about where the New York Jets will be. That's far cry from playoffs. That's a far cry from being the best in the AFC East. Hell, that's far cry from probably being anything higher than 3rd place. But it's still an over. Still an over. Old Man Rivers says the Jets are getting 4 wins. It's tough. That is tough, baby. Where's it at? There we are. So card hard facts number 1, guys. Travis Hunter has been called the best player in the NFL draft. Travis Hunter has been called the real deal. Travis Hunter has been called a Pro Bowl player on both sides of the ball. Now, he does have potentially the most upside in the NFL because he does play both 2 positions on the field, wide receiver and quarterback, or cornerback, I should say. But the cold hard facts are about Travis Hunter is that he is not the best player in this draft. He will not have the best career. He will not win Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. He will not win any of those things if the team that drafts him decides to be 2-player right off the bat. Now, if a team like the Cleveland Browns says you are going to be a receiver and they polish his wide receiver skills and then develop him into a cornerback 3 or 4 years down the road, but every indication is that he's going to be playing both sides of the ball come day 1. So the cold hard facts number 1, guys, is Travis Hunter is not the best player in the NFL draft because of the simple fact that teams are not going to be able to use him correctly. Cold hard facts number 2. Jalen Milore has been invited to the NFL draft, which is raising the expectation that he will go into the first round. You don't really draft people that you don't know that are going to get drafted outside of the first round, but whatever, right? But the cold hard fact is that he is not a first-round quarterback. The cold hard fact is that Jalen Milore is not a first-round talent. The cold hard fact is that he should be drafted in the 3rd or 4th, if not 5th round in this year's NFL draft. But somebody will come out of the woodwork and reach for him, i.e. the Pittsburgh Steelers. Somebody will trade back into the 1st round or into the mid-20s to draft Jalen Milore in the 1st round. The truth is he needs time to grow. He needs to sit behind a vet quarterback and learn, i.e. Aaron Rodgers. He has the best running ability out of every quarterback in the NFL draft, but his arm talent is 3rd at best. But if you draft a quarterback in the 1st round, you do get that 5th-year option. The cold hard facts are he is not a first-round talent. He is not the best quarterback. He's not even the 4th best quarterback. He should not be nowhere near the first round, but cold hard facts are he will be drafted in the 1st round. It is what it is. Excuse me. Cold hard facts number 3. The cold hard facts is that Shedeur Sanders had a horrible pro day. He had bad throws. He was patting the ball. His footwork looked a little sloppy. But the cold hard facts is that Shedeur Sanders is a top 10 NFL pick. There is no way, shape, or form around it. Teams love quarterbacks in the NFL draft. They get drunk, they get sloppy, and there's a cute girl over there, i.e. the quarterback, and they love to draft him. And he would be a perfect draft pick for the New York Jets, the New York Giants, the Las Vegas Raiders, or hell, even the New Orleans Saints, all in top 10. And hell, you might even see a team move up and get him, i.e. the Pittsburgh Steelers, i.e. maybe the Cleveland Browns circling back up into the top 10 after they get a Dual Carter or Travis Hunter 2nd at now overall. But the cold hard fact score is that Shedeur Sanders will be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. It is what it is at the end of the day, guys. And those are the cold hard facts.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is Man Hour NFL Talk. Let's go.